And depending on what rotation he's on, he's either your second best pitcher, your third best pitcher. And I think it ends there. What is up, guys? This is David from Bronx Banter, back with another video. We've talked about a handful of outfield options, a handful of offseason options, trades, signings. Obviously, we're in another offseason episode. And this time, we're taking a break a little bit from outfield options, and we're talking about someone, not that I'd never thought we would have talked about, but someone that's really played himself into a high value rotation piece for any team, especially for his former team, the Yankees, and that is Jordan Montgomery. Jordan Montgomery has really impressed me before we traded him for Bader and even after. And here's the amazing part that I love is that he didn't only start finding himself as a New York Yankee, but when we traded him to St. Louis, he showed that he even improved. And then when he went to the Rangers, he improved as well. So, and he went 7 innings shutout in the playoffs. Again, this is a guy that the Yankees, Brian Cashman, traded away because they didn't think he was going to be a playoff option or he wasn't going to be a difference maker in the playoffs for the Yankees. Look at him now. And look at our starting rotation now. It's actually insane. Like, so many times Cashman says one thing and the total opposite happens. Gio Urshela was great, but he's not Josh Donaldson. And then you got Josh Donaldson pimping fly balls. It's insane. And Gio Urshela as a Yankee was batting over 300. So you're right. He's not like Gio Urshela is not like Josh Donaldson. He's much better as a contact hitter and not washed up. Now, going back to Jordan Montgomery, he's only getting better. He's age 30, heading into age 31 season. And he clearly is showing that he is growing into himself as a starting pitcher. He's learning himself. And I kind of got that vibe even when he was on the Yankees, and it's only getting better. So it's not just, oh, he's only good with this pitching staff and he's only good because this team changed him. No, he's just good. And we knew he was going to be good. And I believe he got Tommy John. He had a big injury in the beginning of his career. After he's gotten back from that, he hasn't gotten hurt. His last season, he's had 32 starts. Let's look at these stats last year in the 2023 season. He had a 4.1 WAR as a pitcher. I think that would be one of the best, obviously behind Cole. 10 wins, 11 losses. He has a 3.2 ERA, which is very strong, very, very strong. I think that's only behind Cole. Again, 32 games, 32 starts, 188 innings pitched, almost 200, which is great. He's probably 2 outings away from reaching that. 166 strikeouts with a 1.193 whip. That's cool and all, but he's shown that he is maybe not an ace, but boy, is he a great supplement to a starting pitching rotation. And depending on what rotation he's on, he's either your second best pitcher, your third best pitcher. And I think it ends there. Really, really good starting pitcher. I would have loved to have this type of production out of Rodon, but look what we got. But I absolutely prefer him more than Snell. Maybe not as much as Yamamoto, but definitely more than Snell. And honestly, there's an argument there that you may want him more than Yamamoto because you don't know how Yamamoto is going to translate into the major leagues. Now, he's still going to do good. I feel he still has the stuff. He's still going to be great, but he's not going to be as good as he was in Japan. That's almost guaranteed. And then he's obviously going to be a lot cheaper. Montgomery's going to be a lot cheaper than Yamamoto. So there's an argument there why someone may want Montgomery beyond Yamamoto. Now, if money wasn't an object, which as Yankees, it should be the case, but it's not the case. But if money wasn't an object, obviously we'll pick Yamamoto in terms of what we believe his ceiling could be. But 2 things that Montgomery has shown, or he's shown more than 2 things, but 2 things that are important to mention that he has shown that hasn't been a thing for the Yankees, period, but especially for the starting rotation, is health and consistency. Now, King has shown that this year, but last year he obviously fractured his elbow or fractured a bone in his arm. He's came back and he hasn't really gone to the IL, which is great. Montgomery has really shown health and consistency, which is really only something that Cole has shown. Rodon hasn't been able to show that. Nestor hasn't been able to show that. Montas hasn't been able to show that. Name anyone else in our starting rotation. He hasn't been able to show that. Maybe Schmidt, but even then in the first half of the season, he was healthy, but he wasn't consistent. Kind of consistent, maybe, because when he figured himself out in the second half, he's done good, but not as consistent as Montgomery. Now, if we were to get Monty, let's say we were to sign him, he's going to be asking for a lot for 2 reasons. One, because he's only gotten better, obviously, so he's going to ask for some money. I feel like this is the time in his career to cash in. He's probably going to ask for maybe a 5-year deal. 30 years old. He's probably going to ask for a 5-year deal, I would think. And we're also most likely going to be competing with the Rangers. The Rangers aren't shy of spending money. Shout out to the Shift 2. Check out his YouTube channel. He has amazing content. If you aren't already subscribed to him, he broke this down. He was talking about how which is something I didn't think of. The Rangers aren't afraid of spending money. Now that sounds obvious, but looking at in the scope of Montgomery having an amazing postseason for them so far, and the Rangers needing to probably get some more starting pitching with obviously DeGrom being out. Scherzer was obviously hurt. Heaney's coming out of the bullpen a little bit through this season, so they probably don't see him as like a huge piece in the starting rotation. Montgomery also has shown something that the Rangers have been needing, which is consistency and reliability in the starting rotation department. They're going to pay him up. So there's going to be a bidding war between Rangers and Yankees, and that doesn't include anyone else that may want to try to bid in for him. So we're going to have to pay a pretty penny. Now, and I don't think it's going to be as much as Yamamoto. It's going to be something. But if we were able to get him, our starting rotation would look like this. Now, realistically would look like this. I'm not saying I want to put a Rodon second, but you have Cole first, Rodon second, praying to God that he figures it out. You got Montgomery third, King fourth, and you got Schmidt and Cortez. And really, it's whoever we're not going to trade away. I really do think Schmidt is going to be a good trade option if we're aggressive this offseason. And if so, then we'll have Cortez in the fifth. Don't know if we plan on re-signing Montas. That's another video to talk about. Now, this isn't the flashiest or sexiest starting rotation. You're not going to see your NL and AL Cy Young winner. You're not going to see your Yoshinobu Yamamoto in here. But this is a solid, serviceable starting rotation. This is a solid, serviceable starting rotation at a much affordable cost. Now, again, Yamamoto, I would choose over. He's younger, has a higher ceiling, fits in with the youth movement. Montgomery, not that he doesn't. He still fits in. He's still younger than Cole, older than Schmidt. He's getting his postseason reps in right now as we speak. But healthy pitching and consistency is what we need. Don't believe Yamamoto has any history. But Montgomery, I would choose over Snell for the price point, for the consistency. Snell I don't think as much innings pitched as Montgomery as well, which is crazy to think, which is important for a bullpen that struggles with injuries as well. So to me, Montgomery is a very viable piece where if we were to sign him, I would not be disappointed. Now, if we get Montgomery, does that take us away from Yamamoto? Not necessarily, not completely, but it definitely can take us away from Yamamoto. So I'm interested to see what you think. I think a lot of us are going to be on the same page here, but I'm curious to know what you think. If you got any spicy and hot takes, I'm loving the interactions we're getting in the comments. Continue to drop those down below. I'm thinking of doing some more content, especially heading into the off season, where we are discussing some of our hot takes for this offseason. What are we thinking? What are our predictions? I'm definitely thinking of doing so heading into 2024, wanting to know your 2024 season predictions, whether it's Yankee specific, whether it's baseball specific. So start chiming in down in the comments below. I'm reading all the comments. I'm trying to reply to a lot of them, but there's a lot of you guys commenting, which I absolutely love. Thank you, by the way. I'm reading all of them. May not reply to all of them, but I'm reading all of them. Thank you guys so much for the support, the love, and I want to hear what you have to say. Jordan Montgomery, is he a Yankee? Guys, if you liked this episode, please make sure to like it, comment down below, and subscribe, and watch what YouTube suggests would be a great video for you. You're not going to want to miss all the latest Yankees news and topics going on. Listen, Judge wants you to subscribe. The Martian wants you to subscribe, so make sure you do. And until next time, peace and be blessed.